New World Patch 3.0.1 is here, and there are some big changes, big fixes. Mainly in two areas. The MSQ for a lot of people is going to be resolved, and Ankh or Ankh, I don't really know how you say it, that is going to be getting a big nerf. Let me jump in, let's talk about what we've got and what it means for you. So yeah, this is patch 3.0.1, and it's actually going to be coming late tonight if you're in Pacific time, or early morning if you're in UK or EU. It's actually 7 AM if you're in the UK, and 8 AM if you're in Central Europe. It's 11 PM Pacific time tonight, tomorrow morning for the rest of us. Now it is going to be bringing the Nightveil Hallow. I'm not really sure if any of this is going to be like super interesting until we get it. I believe Duke Sloth has done a video saying some of the items are very, very good, so I trust him. Yeah, some of them are probably going to be worth checking, so we'll see what we get when we get that. That'll be first thing tomorrow, and I'll probably make a video on it then. It ends, by the way, on November 14th. I wonder if we're going to get Turkleton then, probably. Some new stuff in the store, and I'm not going to go through all the notes because there are actually quite a lot of notes in this one. I'm just going to sort of pick out the highlights here. But the main thing is that the MSQ for a lot of people is basically just going to get fixed. So the tier 4 Azov staff has been fixed. That's one of the big ones that I see in the chat all the time. The Plague for all factions, it looks like that's getting fixed. A Friend in Need, it looks like that one's getting fixed. And it looks like there was some kind of like conflict with the Abducted Artificer and the Tracking the Herd quest, and that appears to be getting fixed. I think pretty much these are the ones that are going to prevent, or have been preventing, a lot of players from doing the MSQ. It's a little bit late if you ask me, like we're 2 weeks after the expansion, but the phrase is literally better late than never. It just would have been nice to see these in the hotfixes that we'd had previously. So I'm happy they're here, but I'm not so happy that they took 2 weeks. Let's hope we don't get any further issues from these fixes. That would really be sad times. As I said, I'm not going to go through everything, but we will talk about some of the most interesting things that we have available to us in this. And one of them I just want to quickly address here is in combat, where they fixed an issue that allowed players to take damage behind a fort or outpost rush gates, and it also prevented repairs. Now, preventing repairs isn't necessarily a bad thing, because one person can actually just do it all day long, but you know, it is what it is. That's fixed. I've not really been doing that many outpost rushes because I've primarily been focusing on these, the artifacts. Now the three main things here starts with this one, Ankh, whatever you say it, that is getting a big nerf. The positive and the negative healing is going to be reduced or increased from 50% to 25%. So the outgoing heals is going to be 25% less, but the incoming heals is going to be 25% more rather than 50 each way, if that makes sense. This is one of those things that are a very big talking point. There's a couple of combinations that are a little bit like disgusting at the minute using this. Pretty much everybody is using this, so I think even healers in wars are using this, which I don't understand, but apparently they are. But like this combined with shirking heals, tumbler boots, all that kind of stuff, well, I've been using it because I am the meta chaser now. You can call me Elon Musk because I'm chasing meta, and Mark Zuckerberg better watch out. But I am that kind of guy now, sadly. However, I've really actually been chasing Serenity, and the way I was doing that was to try and win Arena, so I've been sort of trying to win Arena. Either way, this is getting nerfed. It probably deserved. Let's see how it pans out. There's probably some changes to this as well. Shirking heals, for example, is counting as incoming heals, but not outgoing heals, so it was basically affected by this. We'll see. I don't really know how it's all going to pan out. Let's just wait and see. Now, the Unyielding Helm artifact is being changed a little bit. I'm pretty sure this is the one you get from the PvP track that makes you look like a cone head. It's one of the most ludicrous items I've ever seen in game, but you know, that's just one thing. But it is having its perk change. It's added the functionality that reduces the weight that allows usage with more equipment loads. I'm guessing that they figured that the people who wanted to use this couldn't use this, and now they're trying to change that. Fair enough, okay with that. Now the next one is all about the attuned leather pants. Basically, this is the one that's supposed to give like 10 stats to every stat. And then they say it wasn't displaying correctly on the tooltip, which makes me wonder, was it actually displaying like the wrong thing but you had different stats? Which quite frankly would be terrible. Or was the stats that you were showing actually correct? I don't know. Either way, it should be fixed. Let's hope so, because it's silly for the people who are using this, especially when combined with Magnify, which is actually one of the causes of the issue. Magnify just in general, I'm not really sure if I've spoke about it too much. I really like it as a concept. I really dislike it in practice. Simple as that. Probably needs a bit of a rework. Now, there's some changes to the flail. I won't really go over these. If I'm honest, I tried to read these earlier, and I don't really understand half of them. I don't really understand what's the implication. Adjusted barrage to not block cancel during the startup prior to forward transition. If block is held, the block now has to be pressed to trigger the startup block cancel. I read it and I was like, I'm just not smart enough. Not really been playing the flail. As I said, I've been really chasing artifacts. I've just been doing as many dungeons as I possibly can, getting all the artifacts that I possibly can, both from PvE and PvP. So I'd like to understand these. I could just read it to you verbatim, but I mean, you can read it yourself if you really want to, and you're a heavy flail user. I don't know what the implication is. Couple of changes to mounts, but the biggest one here is the fact that they've shortened 4 mount races, which are the Four Seasons Tour, Barrens and Bogs Tour, Island Tour, and Sands and Storm. I think this is the one where you actually run from Elysian Wilds to Brimstone. Now, I know what most of you are thinking, this is nice and all, but I'd actually already completed all of those races. Sure, it sucks to be you guys. However, for people like me, who've not really been doing this because I've been doing other things, I haven't actually finished a lot of these races, so I'm going to wait until tomorrow, and this is very much going to help me. Good, cool. Now, there are some changes to the economy and progression. One of them is that cooking aptitude now gives bananas. Oh, well, it can give bananas, not necessarily guaranteed. And then the big one, which I'm sort of surprised at because this was actually in the PTR and then made it into live. Basically, furnishing aptitude did not include trophy mats, and it should, and they fixed it now. I thought the extra mats that you got from furnishing aptitude was effectively in payment for this change. Nope, that's not the case. They just should have been giving them to you and they weren't. Some jewelry has stats or attributes that are too high. That's incorrect, and basically that's going to be rectified, and I believe the old stuff, or the stuff that you currently have, will actually get the right attributes. It's not like you're going to just have it forever. So that's very cool. I mean, that one's not really a big issue because, I mean, stats in the game are a little bit less relevant. I'm not going to talk about what I mean by that. Let's just move on. There's a little bit of a change to dark matter. I mean, there's nothing here about chromatic seals and the amount of dark matter that's needed. Quite simply, like, there's so much dark matter required to do the artifacts. It feels like a heavy sink that a lot of people are struggling with now. In a couple of weeks and months, it'll become less and less relevant. But for now, it's a bit of a pain. I'm sort of surprised they didn't ease that pain now. But what they've done in the short term is invasions are going to give you dark matter, 50 or 75, I think, depending on if you win or lose. I'm not actually sure. And if you're level 65, I'm presuming that wars are now going to give you 100 dark matter. That's very much going to help the PvPers, by the way. The hardcore PvPers get actual dark matter, so that's a nice little change. Now, they fixed an issue about some certain AI giving incorrect gear in the Depths and Dynasty Shipyard. Some old items with perks that should no longer be available. However, I've been doing the depths all day today, and the gear in there is frankly abysmal. I think I've killed the boss 8 or 9 times at the end, and all my baggies, every single one of them, was purple. I never got a legendary one at all. A bit of me thinks that a lot of the loot is just broken dungeons, and they're not fixing that yet. Hopefully that's something they should get around to, because it just feels a little bit awkward at the minute. Honestly, that's the most important things in here. A lot of changes to the MSQ, a lot of fixes. Yeah, as I said, it's a little bit late, but better late than never. Ankh or Onk. I always say, I don't know if it's like bonk or Ankh like anchor. I don't know. Maybe it's some of the combination. If you can try and very briefly explain it, do so. If you're going to just write it's pronounced Onk, then I'm going to block you. I won't block you, but I know the joke. Don't do it. I mean, you're going to do it now. I can't win. Everybody's just going to say it's pronounced Onk, and there's nothing I can do to stop it. Either way, it's been nerfed. And I think for the economy people like the trophy mats dropping from furnishing aptitude, yeah, that's one of the biggest things there. We'll talk more probably tomorrow when we actually see the Nightveil Hallow. I don't really know how interesting it will be, but I'll be streaming it live tomorrow, so you want to come and watch that, please come ahead and do so. Big shout out to my Patreons. I really appreciate you guys. Without you guys, it would be a lot harder to do this, so very much appreciate you guys. As I just mentioned, Twitch right there. I'll be live first thing in the morning. As soon as this patch is live, I'll press the button. We'll be going live. We'll be downloading it. We'll be playing it. And we'll be seeing what's new and fresh. Something you don't want to miss. But I will miss you until the next time I see you. Have a most beautiful day. Like and subscribe. Goodbye.